While looking for the living waters on the planet Mandalore in Season 3, Episode 2 of The Mandalorian, Djarin is attacked by this huge spider tank that emerges up out of the ground covered in dirt. LEGO decided to make a set out of that scene, and it's one of the coolest play sets we've seen in a little while, so let's take a look. What up everyone, my name is Matt, and this is my review of LEGO's Spider Tank. This set is 75361, it retails for $50 here in the US, and includes 526 pieces. This set only took me about an hour and a half to build, and it was kind of fun, although with all 6 of these legs being pretty similar, there was a little bit of repetition, not the end of the world. By using a lot of those smaller pieces, these legs feel really detailed and look great. I love the way they turned out on this set. The designer used these rubber pieces on the legs to amazing effect. The flexibility you get by being able to move these up and down is so good, and really adds to the feel of this set and makes it pretty fun to play with. It feels really durable, you can pose it in all kinds of cool ways, and it just makes this feel like much more of an alive, awesome, not static playset. This feels like you could do all kinds of fun stuff with it. It's great. There's a little tiny interior that's revealed if you unfold the top, revealing a stud shooter in there, which is not exactly what we saw in the show, but it's a really fun play feature. There are 2 claws on the front that are also pretty fun to play with. They don't really move up and down because the angle that they're placed is pretty fixed, but there is a lot of flexibility in the claw itself, so you can really pose that around and open and close it if you want to put the Mandalorian or Bo-Katan in there. They look really great, and you can recreate exactly what happened in the show when the spider tank caught Mandalorian and dragged him away to his little lair. Compared to a lot of LEGO sets where you really only get anti-studs on the bottom or the backside, the way that they've tiled this off on the bottom looks really cool and feels finished and refined. I love the way it turned out. There are 3 minifigs in this set. Baby Yoda is the same as always and looks super cute here. I love his little tan baby body and his huge ears. The headpiece looks really good. He's got the same flexibility that he always has, so he's not gonna break on you. The only printing we see is on the front of his chest there, but that's okay. Moving on to Djarin, this minifigure looks really good. So the Beskar armor printing is the same as we've seen in the last year or so, with really beautiful printing for the chest and the legs, and on his arms. It looks so good. The printing on his helmet though is pretty new, and it looks really good. This is sort of a combination of what we saw on some of the older Mandalorian sets and what we saw on the UCS Razor Crest, where he got a completely new printing for the helmet, and it looked really good. So we can see that the vertical bar on his visor is a little bit narrower here and looks really nice. And he also gets some printing on the top side of his helmet there, just on the front to indicate the lines of his helmet. The UCS Razor Crest helmet had some dark printing on his cheeks to really accentuate those areas, but we really don't need it here. It looks great the way it is. The other new addition here, of course, that we see is the Darksaber, which looks pretty nice. Way better than just the black rod that we saw in years past. This one is actually shaped like the Darksaber. It would have been really wizard, of course, to get some white printing or something, some kind of like white along the outside. Would have looked amazing, but I don't know how they would have done that, and this looks really nice. Much better than the old one. It comes with a dark gray metallic hilt that looks pretty good here. If we remove Djarin's helmet, we see that he's got that really nice face printing that we've seen for the last year or so. I think this one was introduced in the End 1 Starfighter. If you don't have the UCS Razor Crest, this is probably the best you're gonna get in Beskar Mandalorian. Looking now at Bo-Katan Kryze, she looks so amazing here. I love this minifigure. She's got beautiful printing all over her chest and her legs. The 2 different metallic colors we see, the light and the dark, on her chest are perfect and exactly what we see in the show. It looks so good. On her waist and legs, we can see the printing on there indicating where her holsters are attached to her hips. Bo-Katan comes with 2 blasters because she's a badass. Her knee pads look really good. She's got beautiful printing on her arms as well, which look perfect. On her left arm, we can see the Night Owl emblem, which is exactly what we should be seeing here. The printing on her helmet looks really good. I love it. And the best thing about all of this is that the way that they've matched the blue, from the blue plastic on the helmet to the printing on her arm and on her legs, looks so good. They all match and it looks amazing. I just can't get over how good this minifigure looks. If we remove Bo-Katan's helmet, we can see that she's got that metallic headband, which is great. Her face on this side is one like she's struggling in the middle of a fight. She's got this grimace, and it looks perfect. If we flip her head around to the other side, we can see that her second face is this very satisfied smirk, and her brand new hairpiece looks amazing here. It's just the right color, and the way that it frames her, and the way that we see that metallic headband peeking through just looks so good. This minifigure looks amazing. I love it. If we remove her jetpack and take a look at the backside, we can see that the armor she's got on the back of her chest looks really good, and she's got a row of leather pouches along the bottom, which look awesome. If you're a big fan of Bo-Katan, I think people are probably going to pick this set up just for this minifigure, which you probably shouldn't really do because you can get it aftermarket, but that's kind of what I did. So getting back to the spider tank, this thing looks really, really good. There's some flexibility in the head. It can move up and down a little bit. It has these little mandibles that have a little bit of flexibility. They can move up and down. These two lights at the front are where the little alien crab creature kind of thing looks out and peers through that red window, and you can see his huge eye looking really creepy. Lego has tiled off just enough to make this set feel complete and interesting. We get so many nice textures and greebling in here, and that looks really, really good. These smoky gray trans pieces look really, really nice and feel fitting on this set. This guy's not fragile at all. I mean, you can drop him from a little bit of height and he's okay because of that awesome flexibility in his legs. It's so fun to play with, and the flexibility in these legs mean that it's really easy to make him like walk around and look natural and feel really cool like this. What do you want from me? I'm a nerd. The guns are pretty fun to use. These two hoses at the front look really, really cool. Sure, there was a little bit of repetition in building the legs, but they still look really, really nice here. A lot of people feel like this set should have included another minifigure here. That little weird crab, fake, pretend, wannabe General Grievous sort of thing that comes crawling out of the ship and then expands up and he's got spikes all over and he's walking around. I don't know. I mean, I feel like that could have been kind of cool to see, but there's no way they could have made him and had him like fit back inside the ship. So it felt like maybe it would have been a weird addition. One thing I do think this set should have come with is like a pram for baby Grogu, because in the show he doesn't leave that thing. He's in that thing all the time and he's like scooting around everywhere, and he goes and zips away when he goes to get Bo-Katan in that thing, and we don't see it here, so he's just got to crawl around on his legs like a little chump. I don't really know why they didn't include that. It feels like it would make complete sense, and you could recreate that scene if you had that pram. It's only a few pieces. They did it with the Razor Crest and it looked really, really nice, so I do think they should have included that here, so it's not a perfect 10 out of 10 set. The other thing I would have liked to see is maybe some different colors in this. So when this spider tank like emerged out of the ground, it was covered in dirt and it was really dirty and there was like stuff falling off of it, similar to what they've done on sets like the Millennium Falcon a couple years ago when they wanted to make that feel a little bit dirty and worn. This is all dark blue gray and light gray here, and it looks fine, but it just could have looked a little bit better and more interesting, I think, if it included a sprinkling of some other colors. Last year, we got the Mandalorian N1 Starfighter, which I also reviewed on this channel, and it was more expensive for fewer pieces and less playability, and was definitely a little bit more fragile. If you want to watch my review on that, then check it out. But for 526 pieces at $50 and these amazing minifigures, it just feels like a really good value, which is not something you can easily say about most Star Wars playsets. I think this set is awesome and easily worth picking up. If you're at all interested in Bo-Katan, I think you should buy this set. Alright, later nerds!